All of us have this ideal version of ourselves that we picture in our minds, that we work so hard day in and day out to do the things that would allow us to become that version of ourselves that we picture in our head. And we work to embody that persona so that we actually genuinely not don't just like look like it from the outside, but feel that we are her on the inside. And why can't we get there? I work so hard to make it to this point, but I still don't feel good enough. I still don't feel like I'm that person. And why? What can I do to fix this, to finally embody it? A lot of the time, the reason that we are not stepping into that and we don't feel that in our soul is because we're still trapped in survival mode. And you can be trapped in survival mode and still be mentally strong and emotionally intelligent. It's like we think that when we are further along in self improvement and we become more self aware and mentally strong and emotionally intelligent, that that means that we can't be in these spaces because your survival mode might look different than it did when you were unaware and unhealthy. Now you are aware and healthy, but that doesn't mean that you're not still trapped in survival mode trying to do things to carry you through. So, I want to talk today about what that looks like, how we can get out of the survival mode, and how you can actually start to listen to your body and lean in and become that version of yourself that you picture in your mind. This isn't about becoming somebody new. This is about leaning into your authentic self. It's leaning into who you already are. I don't want you to watch this video or, quite frankly, any self improvement video and feel like you need to cross things off of a checklist in order to consider yourself good enough. I don't love the daunting chore of self improvement that your life is supposed to look like some aesthetic Instagram video. You don't have to look like this on the outside. It's how are we going to listen to our bodies, lean into who we are, and feel like we are this person on the inside. So it's really not about like doing anything, it's about feeling a certain way and questioning who we really are and what we could be better at leaning into instead of suppressing or ignoring or trying to amplify so that we're performing wellness. So we're going to figure that out a little bit today. The thing that really like triggered this conversation for me that made me want to talk about it, I spent this last week, I spent 2 days at the Purdue Women's Conference in downtown Chicago. Guys, it was the most Wellish thing ever. I was so excited. It was so great. It was so inspiring and motivating to listen to all of these female leaders and just everything that they had to say. And the number one thing that I took away from every single speaker I listened to, all of them talked about authenticity. And it was just so Wellish. It was so that you don't have to paint this ideal, perfect self that never does anything wrong. It's leaning into the things that you do get wrong and knowing that that's authentic to you and being true to who you are and honoring your real, genuine emotions and feelings and thoughts instead of trying to like do what's socially acceptable and have the right ones. It's not about that. And so if we can embrace and accept the feelings and thoughts that we have now and feel good about those feelings and thoughts and allow them to make us feel more accepting in who we are and confident in who we are, it will allow us to step into that ideal version of ourselves that we picture in our head and really genuinely feel that way because we won't feel like we're wrong or bad for doing these certain things, behaviors, or like feeling certain ways that we've really been like fed this narrative that it's the wrong way to do things. Because when you have this narrative of, you're doing it wrong, obviously you don't feel good enough. So today I want to talk to you guys about the nervous system and like really what the hell that is because ever since I've, been through my healing process, I keep hearing about the nervous system and like What the fuck is that? I wanna talk about somatic safety and what that is because it is super cool, and I think we could really utilize that to our advantage. I wanna talk about good girl conditioning because that is a fucking problem that we have to solve. And of course, we're gonna be talking about reclaiming your real self. Okay, so first I want to talk about why you feel stuck. Like, why do you feel like you cannot embody the version of yourself that you're working so hard to try to embody and that you can't get out of your head? Like, you just feel like you are not at the level that you want to be at. So, why are you stuck there? The thing you have to know is the difference and the benefits and negatives of cognitive and somatic healing. So, let's talk about the difference between the two of those two things first. Cognitive healing is what most of us do. This is like the way that I would say most of us, like 99% of us, go through life. This is you thinking your way through life. You are problem solving things in your head, you're planning things in your head, you're problem solving in your head. Did I say that already? You're just like trying to think your way through absolutely everything, figuring out why things happened the way it did, analyzing how you spoke, thinking about what you could have done differently. And obviously, like, this is a good thing. Like, let's talk about the benefits of cognitive healing. You got to think your way through things. Like, you got to use your brain, babe. Like, that's a thing. That's a good thing to be able to do. The fucking weirdos that don't use their brain, they just like fly by the seat of their pants and don't think about their consequences and just like do whatever the fuck they want to do because they don't like use their brain and think about like what consequences something could have or if they could hurt somebody in the process or, whatever. That we don't want to be that person. Naturally, obviously, I don't have to tell you guys that. So, like, this is a good thing to think through scenarios and consider your options and, make decisions based on your intelligent common sense and your mind and your life experience and knowledge. So, this is also, like journaling and learning and growing and like all of that all happens in your mind. So, that's obviously a benefit. But the negative comes in obviously when we do this in like an excessive amount at an obsessive level, like obviously that's not going to be good for you. You will drive yourself fucking nuts doing that. And it feels like you are kind of like drowning when you are just like doing everything, like trying to think your way out of absolutely everything. You don't feel safe yet. Because you have to get your body to feel safe. And that's where somatic healing comes in. That's when you move out of your mind and into your body, because those are two separate things that need to both happen in order to feel better about a situation. You can't feel better in your mind. And if your body doesn't feel safe, your body doesn't feel better, like you will still be uncomfortable and feel like you're not in a safe position. And it blows my mind because so much of our lives we live inside of our head, like you don't think with your body, but like you do, bro. Like, it's crazy to me, like, that my brain will feel good, my brain has clarity and, like, knows what's right for me, but my body will feel something else entirely, like, my body, it will still be in shock, my body will still be in heartbreak, my body will still be in sadness or anger or overwhelm or feel insecure or worried or whatever, like, your body physically reacts even though your brain knows that everything is okay. So we have to be able to listen to that communication from our body as well. So that somatic healing is creating safety in our body to allow change and self-expression in the way that we want to change and self-respect in regards to like how our mind clearly knows that things are okay. So, your nervous system is what determines whether something is safe or not. Before your brain even processes it, you have internal systems that we'll get into later that are going off and analyzing your surroundings. It's a survival technique, it's your biological caveman brain sussing out what's going on around you to determine whether or not you're safe. And because we don't live in caveman world that we could be, potentially eaten by a tiger, it is sussing out not literally life-threatening things, but your body feels like they are because you have those danger signals going off. Like I said, I keep hearing nervous system and I'm like, what the fuck is a nervous system? Like, I don't get it. Like, is this like a magical thing that I feel like is my feelings and emotions? Like, walk me through this. Like, what the hell is it? So I Googled it naturally, like we all do, because how else does anybody get their knowledge at all? I Googled it. So, the definition on Google of your nervous system is a complex network of cells, tissues, and organs that work together to control and coordinate all bodily functions. It receives, processes, and sends signals throughout the body, enabling us to move, think, feel, and interact with our environment. So, like, it's science, bro. Like, which is insane. Like, it's just like weird to me that, like, the thoughts and the way that like our body responds to what's happening in our life is like literally biologically happening. Like, it's not like made up in our brains. Like, you are really genuinely physically, scientifically, biologically responding to the shit in your life. Like, I just think that is so weird. It says that your nervous system is your body's command center. It's made up of your brain, spinal cord, and nerves. Your nervous system works by sending messages or electrical signals between your brain and all the other parts of your body. These signals tell you to breathe, move, speak, and see, for example. So, like, the thing with this too is that because it's your brain sending signals to your body, like, this is when your heartbeat will start, like, well, your heart will start beating fast, or like that you feel like tight and closed up, and like those things. It are your body signaling that it's in fear mode, that it's signaling to you that something isn't right, that something is making it feel unsafe. It's recognizing something that it has experienced in the past, that it has been shown is dangerous. You can't become your ideal self if you're forcing it, Like, you cannot become your ideal self by thinking your way out of situations. Like, you have to get your body to feel safe enough in order to move through a situation, in order to express itself differently, in order to feel safe progressing through what it is you are trying to progress through. Essentially, you have to feel safe enough to stop performing so that you can show up authentically and know that that vulnerability isn't putting you at risk. I want to talk about what's happening, like the nervous system behind this performance that we're putting on. And like, when you hear the word performance, I can picture myself being like, "Shut the fuck up, Sarah. Like, I'm not performing. I am being authentic to who I am, or at the very least, I'm trying to be the version of myself that I want to be, And so that's not a performance. That's, maybe not super in alignment with who I am now, but I'm trying to be this person that, I want to become. I'm trying to show up like her. And like, that's 100% great. But it's performance when it's not authentic, when you're doing it because you feel like you aren't something until you do, like that you're not good enough unless you show up a certain way. A big thing that we are taught, especially as women, is the good girl syndrome. Good girl syndrome is the narrative that we are fed and taught, that being agreeable and easy and low maintenance is palatable, and that's who people want to be around, and that's what's going to make people like you. And that if you are high maintenance and you are angry and loud, and you demand what you want out of life, and that makes you a little bit more like complicated, or it makes you more complicated to like deal with, harder to live, because like people actually have to like follow your boundaries and be respectful, and can't just however the fuck they want. They have to like show up in a good way. They can't just free ride their way through being with you. That puts you at risk for not having good relationships, that it puts you at risk for not being liked, that it puts you at risk for people thinking badly of you. It's so funny like saying these things out loud, because it's just like, these aren't things that like we talk about. It's not things that like you're verbally communicating, or that anybody's actually ever verbally communicated to you. Like, I mean, maybe fucking somebody has, but that's like weird as hell. But no, normally no. Like it's not something that anybody has ever came up to us and said like, "Hey, you better be low maintenance, otherwise people aren't gonna like you." It's like what we've learned, like that if you're chill and cool and like you're not like like that you don't want to be crazy. You can't, like that when we get upset about things, like a man is fucking weird and acts in their weird ass way and suddenly we're crazy because I'm calling you out for your weird behavior? No. So we learn just through life that if we're chill and like I don't care what you do, Saturdays are for the boys. Like go out and do those things. Like then we'll be liked and like then we'll be good enough and like then you get to like be one of the guys and like that means that you're like cool. Like fuck that, bro. Fuck that. Like, that is good girl syndrome to a T because we have to fit in this specific box in order to be liked. This is survival mode. This is what survival mode is. It's that you can't just authentically say, think, and behave with what you genuinely think and feel. You have to do the things that you know will be perceived well. Even though I'm not a people pleaser anymore and I will speak up when I don't want to do certain things, the idea that if I'm not low maintenance, I won't be liked, like that's not true. I'm allowed to have an opinion, bro. And the reason that staying palatable is a survival mode is because we feel that it's unsafe to be larger. Like by staying small and staying in our lane, we're not going to rock the boat. Like nobody's going to get upset with you because you're not giving them anything to be upset about. If you give your opinion and you're opening up the opportunity for somebody to disagree with you, if you share something about yourself that it's possible somebody might not like, or if you share a thought or a feeling that might offend somebody, suddenly you are opening yourself up for scrutiny. You're opening yourself up for judgment. You're opening yourself up to be perceived. And you have experienced in the past that when you open yourself up and people, judge you, perceive you, give an opinion, whatever, that it hurts and that feels unsafe and it feels like rejection and you feel like something is wrong with you and you feel like you're not good enough. But the reason that you felt like that before and the reason it would be different now is because you have to work on your own confidence and being comfortable with who you are. If you are sharing your thoughts and your opinions and behaving in ways that are authentic to you, if you lean into that authenticity and saying something that could offend somebody potentially, or you get angry about a situation but you feel justified in your anger because you are acting in alignment with who you are, like okay, like you can't take it back, bro. Like what are you going to do? Not be yourself? And like I know that people are gonna be like, "Oh, you offended somebody. Like, it's permission to be a dick to people. Like, you're not supposed to offend people. That's fucked up. You're not trying to offend people. We're not like going out into the world to like intentionally be a fucking asshole. You're not going out into the world and behaving in ways that like are going to be hurtful to people. No, you don't do that. Come on, let's use our brains a little bit. You don't do that. You don't do that. And anybody here listening, you guys, if you're listening to Wellish, you're not a bad person. So like I know that it's fine. But like I have to say that because I know that people are going to be like, "Oh, you can't like go out in the world and offend people." But it's that you're living authentically. And then through that authenticity, if somebody disagrees with you and you accidentally unintentionally offend them, you can't do anything about that. You can't live your life controlling everybody else. And that again is the survival tactic, because it's like by keeping palatable and staying small, you're trying to control people's opinions of you. But you can't. You can't. You can't. One more time, sister. You cannot do that. You can only, you know what I'm going to say? Say with me, you can only control yourself. Yep, I bet we said it at the same time because you know it. You know it's true. And it's simply what it is. It's really not your fault that this is the way that you think, you know? Like, and I don't want to say this and for you to be like, fuck, I suck. You know what I mean? Like, because it's not your fault. Like, it's not your fault. This is the society that we were born and bred in. It is the, what word do I want to use? Like, nonverbal messaging that we have been fed since we were born, especially as women. Like, we are fed this in so many different ways and shown that this is the way to live in so many different ways that you literally nothing in the world you could have done could have helped you not be this way. But it's your job now to be aware of it. Like now that you and I are having a conversation about it, you're aware of it simply for that reason. And then to start becoming aware of it in your own life. And like when you notice, like when you are behaving in a way to be palatable compared to being authentic. I think like a very simple, good example of this that I have experienced is like if I'm out with friends and I am trying to be liked by being bubbly and energetic and saying things that fit into the conversation so that they can experience me, you know, and like hear what I have to say so they get to know who I am instead of just trusting that people will get to know who I am by me leaning into my authenticity and them spending time with me that I would feel more comfortable, you know, like like sometimes I don't have to say anything. Like I don't actually want to contribute at this moment. I don't actually have something I genuinely need to say. I don't have anything really like substance worthy of like sharing something, but it's like I feel like I'm like searching in my mind through the fucking like book of things that I could like say that would be witty or funny or likable, and so I can like spit that out, like just to be perceived a certain way, and it's not actually authentic. It's your work to unwind that. It's your work to notice those moments and any other moment that you recognize that you're not actually being authentic, you're trying to be palatable, and start to unwind that process. Start to unlearn the good girl syndrome. I want to talk to you guys about the polyvagal theory because it's something that I have been looking into recently with my 30-day magnetism experiment. I learned a lot about it this week and I felt like it was super interesting. You know, and I think that it would really help clarify a lot of this for us and recognize what is actually happening in our body when we start to feel these fight or flight, freeze, fawn feelings, these reaction feelings when our body feels unsafe. Okay, so I've got my notebook here. So I'm going to read to you what I have kind of learned about this. So there are three vagals, there's three phases to this. So there is the ventral vagal, which is you're safe and social. So your heart rate is regulated, you feel safe, you feel peaceful, happy, active, engaged. Like this is when you are, you know, just vibing. Okay. This is like you just in the wild, not experiencing anything really that bad. Then there is sympathetic, that is mobilized, fight or flight, heart racing, shallow breath, anxiety, adrenaline surge. And this would be, you know, when something happens that triggers you to feel unsafe. And so now you feel your chest tightening. You feel like something's wrong. You feel, you know, one of these things. We know the feeling. You know what I'm talking about. And then there is dorsal vagal. That's when your energy is low, your breathing is shallow, you shut down, you sometimes you numb out, you're in survival mode. It's a survival mechanism, this dorsal vagal, to kind of, you know, just like shut out and not acknowledge what's happening, to numb out from what's happening because it would just be too much to think about it, okay? And a healthy person goes through all three of these phases and it's very fast and it's not conscious. This is your subconscious mind analyzing the situations around you. This is your nervous system responding to signals in your environment. So, the definition of the polyvagal theory is a neurophysiological framework to consider why you act in the way you do. Through this lens, you can understand that your responses are automatic and out of your conscious control. So, what your body is doing and feeling when it experiences something is out of your control. Last night, night. I went out with my friend. There were men that were approaching me. I am terrified of men now because I just think they all suck. So even though my brain wants to entertain men, even though my brain is wants to be with men, wants to interact with them, wants to make out with somebody, wants to, do whatever. I want to dance with people. My brain wants to do those things. It's like my body feels unsafe. And so when I try to put myself in a position and like think my way through it and think like, stop it, you're fine, who cares? Just do it. You want to do this. This is what, you talk about this to yourself all the time that you want to do this and hook up with people and date around and just have this like fun single life like this. You would have to do these things in order to embody that it's like my brain knows it, but like my body doesn't feel safe because it says man equals danger, man equals trust issues, man equals they'll fuck you over, that men don't have good intentions, that, whatever. And it's so funny because, like, as I'm talking about this out loud, I'm picturing myself dancing at the Vig last night, and like all of these men kept coming up to me. And I went to the Vig and was like, I'm gonna make out with somebody tonight. That's what I told myself in my head. Like, I was like, I'm gonna do it, okay? And did that happen? No, because I just like they would come up to me and I was like, "Ah," like even though my brain wasn't doing that, my brain was like, I want to, but my body was like, I can't. It would like I just felt so tight and my heart would race and I just felt uncomfortable and that I didn't want to do it because my body doesn't feel safe, even though my cognitive thinking is different. And that reaction is automatic. That's my nervous system responding. This is called the polyvagal theory because it is your vagus nerve responding to what's happening in your environment. It is analyzing it and sending signals to your body. The word vagus, the nerve that it is vagus, not like fun Vegas, like Vegas in your brain, is the nerve that sends a signal to literally like all of these things. I'm sorry, I was going to say the word vagus in Latin means wander. And so this nerve wanders through like every motherfucking part in your body. I literally wrote down the list of all of the places that it is connected to. It impacts your heart rate, your breathing, your muscle tension, your pain tolerance, and almost every system in your body to talk to you and communicate its findings. It's like your little protector. It wanders from your brainstem through your heart, lungs, digestive system, liver, gallbladder, spleen, pancreas, kidneys. Like like think about when you feel unsafe. Your body feels it everywhere. Think about like I remember when I was a kid and I was an ice skater and I was going to like go onto the ice for my ice skating performance and you have to nervous pee. Hello? Like your vagus nerve is connected to all of these things and so it's like your body physically responds. It biologically responds. I just think it's so weird because it's automatic. It's not your conscious brain and like that's the difference. You've got your conscious brain that thinks you through your problems, but your body is also responding and you have to let your body talk to you. Listen to it. It's like we try so hard to suppress our body. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, no, I'm not going to feel like that. I'm going to think my way out of this. I don't want to feel like that. I don't want to feel nervous around men. So I'm just not gonna. Like that's not how that works, dude. Like you have to create a space for your body to feel safe. You have to show your body that it is safe. And there are ways to make this happen, like one of the things being deep breathing, exposure, putting yourself in these situations and practicing it over time and taking small steps over time to show yourself that you can handle these situations and that you trust yourself to that you're capable of it and that you are safe and that you are going to be okay. And I know that since I've been out of my long-term relationship, like I've been on dates, I've made out with people, I've done my thing, you know what I mean? So like I know I can do it, but it doesn't change the fact that when I'm just like out at a bar dancing, my body is having this reaction still because I haven't fully worked through that yet. I haven't fully healed yet. I haven't fully showed my body that I'm okay and I'm safe. And so being respectful of her and listening to her when she talks to me and helping her and then communicating back, like helping her see that she's okay is really important. You can't just be a dick to her and do everything from a cognitive standpoint. You have to also do it from a somatic standpoint. So, with all of this in mind, we're coming back to the main idea of wanting to be this ideal version of ourselves. Like, why can't I embody this person that I so badly want to become? And the biggest thing is that it's because you can't just create that ideal version of yourself. You can't think your way through that. You can't force that to happen. You have to create the space and the allowance to let that happen, to get that to happen. You have to accept yourself as you are and lean into those qualities more and communicate back and forth between your mind and your body in order to create a space that you feel more comfortable stepping into the ideal version of yourself. It's not checking things off of a list in order to glow up. It's actually like being viscerally honest and raw and real with who you are. And when you step into that authentic version of you, you automatically glow up because you know that you have that ideal version in your mind. Like, you want to be this specific person. So, if you are authentically angry about something, you are going to allow yourself to be angry about that and to express that anger. But you're not going to do it like a feral wild animal that's like a fucking asshole and unhinged. You're going to do it in alignment with your best self. You're going to communicate it with respect and with firmness and with boundaries and in a way that you will be able to reflect and feel proud of yourself for communicating that anger instead of suppressing it in order to, not be, not to offend somebody, not to make somebody not like you, or by like, flying off the handle and not doing something that you're proud of, like in that sense too. I keep seeing this quote online about how like everything that you do should be filtered through the lens of like how is this serving your 8-year-old self and your 80-year-old self, and those are the only two people that you should be trying to impress. And I like that. Like, I'm going to try to start incorporating that mentality a little bit more because I think it's really true. Like, if I think about my 8-year-old self, she really let people walk on her a lot. She really wanted to be liked so badly and to fit in so badly that she just, let everybody dictate who the fuck she was for her. And, being able to serve her in the way of getting angry and sharing those thoughts and feelings and my beliefs and not letting people disrespect me would be me serving that little girl who sacrificed herself. And I don't want to do that to her anymore. And it would be me making my 80-year-old self proud by knowing that I'm being authentic and I'm standing up for what I believe in so that I don't look back and think like, damn, I should have handled that better. Damn, I didn't even speak my mind. Damn, did I even have my own opinion when I was in my 20s? Like, that's embarrassing. You've done a lot of work thinking your way to this point and doing all of this mental building and talking yourself through things and understanding in order to get to this really impressive mindset and mentality and emotional intelligence that you have now. And that's super important. But now it's time to allow your body to feel safe too and to lean into who you really are and create the space for your self concept to really expand into who it's meant to be because it has the safety to do that. It has the space to make that happen. So the good news is that you don't need to work harder, and we love to hear that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to fucking bend over backwards trying to make this shit happen. It's exhausting. It burns you out. It makes you feel like shit. You think, God, I just want to live. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to exist for the love of fuck. So the good news is you can. You don't have to work harder. You just need to feel safer. You just need to show up authentically and show yourself that you're safe. You need to be able to communicate between your mind and your body. You need to listen to your body when she feels unsafe and then communicate back to your body the reasons that she is okay. And nervous system regulate: deep breathing, journaling, affirmations. So there's exercises, like you can put your hand over your heart, you can put your hand on your chest and your stomach, you can shake out your limbs, you can close your eyes, because that'll tell your nervous system that this is time to rest. Even if you're not like going to sleep, you're just resting for a moment, because that signals it to her. You can do some yoga poses, you can do some squats, like doing things that will help your body feel better, that it will get your heart rate and the back to where it's got to be, and it'll get the tension out of your chest and all of that good stuff. Being able to regulate what's happening inside of you is going to really help this expression of your ideal self. So you do still have hope to become the ideal version of yourself. Like, all hope is not lost. I promise it really can happen for you. And I'm telling you that because I experience it. Like, I do genuinely feel that way. I still think, obviously, there's things that I want to be better at. I was talking about some of those things today, but I do genuinely feel like my ideal self. Like, in my heart and my soul, I feel good about who I am. And I just think, like, that's crazy, like, I am just like, I feel so excited about that because I just really didn't for so long. So I just want you to know that it's possible, and I want you to know that you have hope to make this happen for yourself. And the only reason that it hasn't yet is because you're working overtime to try to become this ideal version of yourself that you picture in your head and like do all of the right things in order to have it. And, like, also, you're working overtime to keep yourself safe. Okay, new thing that we're adding to the end of Wellish episodes. I'm super excited about it because it's so fun, and I love being able to connect with you guys. I love, the feedback that you guys give me when you guys DM me. It makes me so happy. It makes me so happy hearing things resonate with you, and this really helping you live your life better. I love hearing from you guys. So in order to honor that a little bit better, I'm going to be answering one question from you guys at the end of each episode. So this week's question of the week is, what's one super specific thing that instantly puts you in a good mood? I mean, my initial reaction to this is making content. Like, anytime I record something and I edit it and I post it, I love that. It just makes me feel excited and good. Like, I like coming up with the topic. I like listening back and being like, okay, bitch. And then recording it and being like, okay, bitch, that looked good. And then posting it and hearing all of your guys' responses to it. I love that. But if I want to give you a non-content creator answer, because I know that's kind of annoying if that's not something that you're into, I would say doing things outside, even if I just go stand out on my balcony and breathe some fresh air, that makes me feel good pretty instantly. Or anything in nature, going for a walk, anything that you get to go outside and experience something. And I think when I say that, I also think of anytime I experience something new. I went to an archery class a couple weeks ago. I have been going to horseback riding lessons. I have been going to different events. I went to Rib Fest. Just taking action to be out in the world. That is my, goal that I try to incorporate into my life now, to what I like to say is live a full quality life. And to me, I defined that as dinners, adventure, travel, and events, and it spells fucking date. And I just think that that's so iconic. So I have a little date tab on my personal Instagram, Sarah.Rittendale, that I kind of show all of those things. So I kind of run that through my head when I need a little pick me up and a boost. Like, what dinner, adventure, travel, or event can I do? And that gives me a boost. It gives me some drive. So those would be some specific feel good things that I like. Share this with your friend who is always trying to fix herself, so you can let her know that she is good enough as she is right now and that she is safe just being herself. Make sure to follow Wellish on TikTok and on Instagram. Both of them are at Wellish Podcast. You can follow my personal Instagram as well if you feel so inclined. That's Sarah.Rittendale. And then really if you wouldn't mind rating and reviewing the show, it really, really does make a difference. So I would really appreciate it if you guys could do that as well. And of course, subscribe so you get more Wellish content on your feed. I also want to remind you that we are doing these questions of the week now, and I'm so excited about it. And like, I've got a cute little question submission box on Wellish's website. That's wellishpodcast.wordpress.com. But if I'm being honest, the easiest way to ask me a question is just to DM it to me. So make sure to do that. I can maybe put a like cute little question box out there if you think that like that's a good idea. I wish that they let you like leave a question box in the highlights. I don't think it lets you do that, which is fucking annoying. So I don't know. I'll try to figure it out. But DM me. That's the easiest way. All right. I love you. I love you, love you, love you, love you so much. And I will talk to you guys on Monday. Bye.